Welcome, everybody. Don Giannetti. Tell a little story and explain something about our upcoming 24 frames in May. First of all, I'm a film shooter from way back, and I was a Nikon shooter and absolutely lived, breathed, and ate Nikon back in film days. My favorite camera is still the Nikon F3. This is the Nikon F4. This is the camera that when it came out, this is the camera that made me buy the Canon EOS. When this camera came out, the F4, it was so much bigger, so much heavier, and just it didn't fit my hand like the F3. I did not like it. I went back over to Tempe Camera several times, hoping that I would that there was something wrong with me. Maybe I had a fever. How could I not like and love the F4? Autofocus, it was everything, and I didn't like it. And Joey at Tempe Camera said, "Well, have you seen the new Canons?" And I said, I'm not interested in Canons because if y'all remember the Canon F1, it was like a brick. I mean, it was like sharp corners. It was ugly. Didn't like it. He said, "No, they got this new thing called the EOS." And I picked it up, and it went right into my hand. And the wheel on the back was contextual. I could make it aperture or shutter, and it just really made sense to me. And I just fell in love with it, and I left there with all my lenses, my Canon lenses. I dropped probably at the time 10, 11, 12,000 on 3 lenses, wide angle zoom, the great 80 to 200. They call it the magic tube. It was a brilliant lens, fantastic lens. Still sitting over there. It's kind of a brick now, but it bricked itself over in San Luis Obispo, actually, as it rolled out of the trunk of the car. And that was it. I've been Canon ever since. Now, recently I was on eBay and I saw this F4 and I went ahead and bought it because, oh, what the hell, it's an F4 and it's an awesome camera. So I now have it to go with my film collection, and I paid nearly nothing for it. $160 or whatever. It's in perfect condition. Fantastic camera. We're doing this 24 frames in May. That's shooting on film analog, and I make a comment in the rules. I mean, I'm not big on rules, but we have to have some consistency. We want 24 different frames. You know, with a digital camera, you can go out, you can pick it up, and you go, oh, I'm going to shoot this, and I'll move it over here, and click, 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 click. And I made the comment, I want you to think about it more like shooting an 8x10 instead of a 35 millimeter, because you've got 24 exposures. That's what we're recommending, a 24 exposure roll. You've got 24 exposures, and what we want to get back is a contact sheet or 24 shots that are unique and high quality, at least the highest quality that we can get, and that takes thought. So I said, shoot it like an 8x10. And that reminded me of something that I've always wondered about, and that is the size of an 8x10 versus the size of a 35 millimeter. Now here's a 35 millimeter slide. Here's an 8x10 transparency. You can do 24. Hey, somebody posted something. You can put 36 of these onto one sheet of film and still have space between, because we do it all the time. Put in a 36 exposure roll on an 8x10 sheet of paper as a contact sheet. So there's more than 36 of these in here. And yet, we would take this tiny little piece of capture device, film, and we'd be out doing this. Oh, click and click and click, and let's go over here and click and click, 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 and we just, oh yeah, man, I used to shoot a ton of film. As a matter of fact, I shot a shit ton of film. Then we get to the 8x10, and we take the camera, we put the black cloth overhead, and we move it a little bit over here. And then we look and we get under that dark cloth, and we spend 3, 4, 5 minutes, and we pick it up and we go, okay, let's want to back it up just a little bit, and then this way we get back in a perfect composition. Where in reality, to get 36 pictures, all we'd have to do is go, hey, that looks good, click, and walk away. Oh, hey, over there, click on the 8x10, because we can come back and crop out 36 different pictures from it. But we didn't do that because this is expensive. It's very expensive. It was expensive in those days. It's expensive now. So when I say shoot like an 8x10, it means treat each frame as though it were gold. When you have to go out into the woods and you want to get some pictures, let's say you want to go out for an afternoon and get some great shots, you can take a roll of 35, 36 exposures, no problem. 2 pictures, one on this side, one on this side. Weighs, I don't know, half a pound. 2 of these weigh a pound, maybe more. So if you're going to go out with your 8x10 camera, you're probably not going to take 36 exposures. That's 18 of these things. That's a whole mule's worth of holders. You're only going to take 2 holders, 3 max, 6 shots. That's all you got. So you treat each picture like it's gold. Move that camera a little bit. Look through the viewfinder. See the corners. Left, bottom right, top right, lower left. Make an X. If you're going to have problems in your pictures, it's going to be in the corners because everybody's looking at the middle. Look at the corners. Take the time to compose that image. Once it's composed, click, you got it. And then you can move on to the next shot. So you could come back conceivably with 36 exceptional photographs. If you can do it on 8x10, why can't you do it on 35? If you can take 6 film holders down to Water Pocket Fold in southern Utah, which is what I want to do someday, and come back hopefully with 6 different photographs, you could do the same thing with a roll of film. Come back with 6 perfect photographs on here, or at least as good as you can make them, still have 30 left over. There's no reason we have to treat the formats that differently, especially when film is expensive these days and getting it processed is expensive. So when you're doing this 24 frames in May, treat it like an 8x10. Take the time that you need before you click that shutter and get that one shot. Pick the camera up and move on. That's the point. I hope you all enjoy the 24 frames in May. It's going to be a lot of fun. We could or could not, we possibly or possibly won't have prizes and judges and all that kind of stuff. We're going to see how many people jump in and do it. And if we got a great amount of people, I think we can come up with some prizes. So I'm thrilled that you're coming along. Project 52, folks, see you on the boards.